And I've gotten to that point in my spiritual life before with God that I wanted to say, God, you don't need me. You can use somebody else. With my inconsistencies, you don't need me. I wanted to quit because I got tired of letting God down. I got tired of disappointing God. I know some of y'all in here, maybe you don't have no idea what I'm talking about, but do I have anybody to know when you get tired, when he asks you to do some simple things, like in the middle of the night when he wants you to get up and pray and you still roll over, or instead of getting up praying, you cut on the television, some of the simple things. God, you couldn't be asking me to do something big. I fail at some of the simple things. Yeah, God, use somebody. You don't want to use, because I got tired of disappointing God when I found out that you cannot disappoint God. You cannot. It's impossible. You can displease God, but you can't disappoint him. Oh. Because for you to disappoint God, it's though God is not God. For you to disappoint God means God's knowledge is limited. When God is all-knowing and oh my God. For you to disappoint God is to say that God, even when he forgave you, is as though he did not know you were going to turn around and do it again. When you made the mistake and before you went to him to ask for forgiveness again, he already knew you were going to do it, and when you were going to turn back and ask him for forgiveness, and his answer was already going to be yes, because he's faithful and just to forgive when you come to him. Look at somebody, tell them you can't disappoint God. He already added it in the equation. He already added your mistake in the equation. He already added to, as a matter of fact, he's going to use what he didn't even cause to bring you victory in your life. He's going to use what the devil thought was going to be your destruction. He's going to use it to be your setup. I wish I had somebody to believe it, to holler at your boy right now and just give God a praise. Don't count me out. Been through some stuff, but don't count me out. I got some more stuff to go through before I get to my victory, Shatina, but whatever you do, don't count me out. Jesus said, I got some things I got to go through. And they said, Lord, will you tell us when these things are going to happen? Give us a sign that's going to take place when the end is coming. He said, well, I'm going to tell you one thing that's going to happen. I'm going to destroy this temple. But don't look at my destruction, because in 3 days, I'm going to build it up. And some of you are still looking at the destruction of what happened in your life. But the Lord told me to tell you, stop focusing on your destruction and start looking for your victory. And when he told them about the temple, they thought he was talking about the building that were made with man's hands. But he said, I'm not talking about the temple that's sitting over there on the hill. No, I'm talking about this body. No, you can tear me down right now. No, but if you tear me down, just give me 3 days and I'm going to get back up. People can tear you down with their mouth, and they can put out a rumor on you, and they can try to destroy your reputation. But look at your neighbor, tell them, don't count me out. Some of you are here right now and you're looking at layoff, and even though you're laid off, people are looking at you, asking you how you're gonna make it. Look like you're gonna lose your house. If you don't get a job, you're gonna lose your car. But you ought to tell the devil, listen, Satan, don't count me out. Some of you are like me. You went to college to get a degree, and now 4 years later and you still don't have it. 5 years later, you still don't have it. 6 years later, and I still don't have it. But I'm not looking at my destruction, and I'm not looking at it as a failure. It's just a temporary setback for a permanent setup. I don't care how long it takes me. There's an appointed time across the street on Liberty Boulevard where they've got to call my name. And 3 days, tell somebody, give me 3 days. You can tear me down, but 3 days, he said, I built it up. Grab somebody by the hand and say, neighbor, whatever you do, don't count me out. I heard Paul say, we are troubled on every side, yet not distressed. We are complex, but not in despair. Been persecuted, but I'm not forsaken. Cast me down, but I won't be destroyed. Tell somebody, don't count me out. I heard Romans chapter 8 verse 35. He says, who shall separate me from the love of Christ? Shall tribulation or distress, persecution or famine, nakedness or sword? As it is written, it's written, for thy sake we are killed all the day long, counted as sheep for the slaughter. But nay, all these things I'm more than a conqueror, for I am, tell somebody, I am persuaded that even though it looks bad right now, that neither death nor life nor angels nor principalities nor powers, things present, things to come, height, nor death, any other creature shall be able to stop me when God gets ready to build me up. You can count me out, but God will count me in. Somebody shout glory. This is one of the weekends in my life throughout a year where I take both of my godsons at one time. And on yesterday, I had Nicholas and Keyshawn. Y'all pray for me. A 7-year-old and an 8-year-old. And all day yesterday, they were constantly talking to me concerning sports. One is crazy about basketball and the other crazy about football, and then they want to switch it up on baseball. Well, then one Nicholas began to talk to me on yesterday about a situation that happened on the other night. He began to tell me it was 13 seconds left on the clock when the Cleveland Cavaliers were tied with Orlando Magic, and the score was 93-93. Then the clock began to run out when Orlando made a shot, making the score 95-93. Leaving only 1 second left on the clock. People got up off their sofas and went to the kitchen. The Magic fans began to celebrate their victory. One news station left the sports and went to the weather because they felt as though that the game was already over. When all of a sudden, with 1 second left on the clock, here come LeBron James, 23 feet away from the goal, released the ball and made a 3-point, and they won the game. I may be down to 1 second, but all God needs, I said all God needs, all God needs is 1 second to turn your life around, to turn your situation around. Tell somebody I'm in the right position for a 3-point shot. I'm going to win this one. Don't you count me out. Don't count me out. Don't count